So that takes us into this week's News or Snooze. Bennett will give me 3 quotes. I'm going to say if they're newsworthy or if they're snoozeworthy. We got a lot of content this week from some press conferences.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. We got some good ones. I'll start with one here from Kurt Cignetti. No one is satisfied, but this team plays hard. They have one vision. They're together and they fly around. About 85% of them. We got 2 or 3 on the offensive side mainly that can step it up a little bit.
First part of that quote, snoozeworthy. Very much coach speak. Second part, newsworthy for him saying like about 85%. We're flying around. We're doing everything we need to do, control the control. About 85%. I mean, you say some guys on offense that can step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely means Jordan McLeod.
Yeah, which is why it's hilarious. Like some of his comments where he's like, we're flying around. We do everything we need to do. And he's like, except for 2 or 3 of us. Like imagine being one of those players hearing that. I don't like maybe that's a motivating thing that he knows it'll like fire guys up.
It motivated him going into the Troy game. Remember when he was like, we suck during practice.
He knows what he's doing with the media, right? He uses it as sort of like a tool, I think, to fire people up. And some of it makes sense, even just like on a baseline level with us, like we tweet out graphics or post graphics on social or certain stats, and like the players see it pretty quick.
Yeah.
So like they see the quotes. Like there's no chance they're missing the quotes, which is entertaining indeed. Okay, number 2. There's a lot of really good ones here to pick from. Here we'll go with this one. The whole organization is completely fatigued, but we had one more in us today. The schedule was kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Kurt Cignetti.
Snoozeworthy. He can complain about a schedule all he wants. I don't care. You won the games. You did what you needed to do. No point in lamenting about it now. You got the bye week. Go to the bye week. Figure it out. You went on the road 3. You know what this means? At the end of the season, they're not on the road as often.
I was thinking about that. The rest of their road trip, so they've got 3.
They've got every big one out of the way.
Marshall's not that hard. Georgia State's pretty easy because Atlanta's like an easy city to get to. And then you got Coastal in the last game of the season. Like those are super manageable.
Yeah. It sucked. But now if you take it from a view of like looking forward, it doesn't matter. Again, I think that's something he's using the media to kind of get his point.
I just thought it was really funny, the first part where he's like, we're completely fatigued, but only after we got one more dub. We're fine. It's like, all right, whatever.
I also love the whole organization.
Okay, the third one I think is the best one, but it's a long one. Breeze report, I think it was Jackson Hefner, asked him.
Oh, he came out. Is this the one where he came after Jackson?
Kind of a good question, though, that got a really
It was a great question, but do you have the whole quote?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he asked him if he was concerned that the wins were like by single digits. And he laughs and he goes, I don't get the question, to be honest with you. The object is to win. We're playing good football teams. I mean, we've done something that right now a lot of people in the country are surprised at, right? I don't know if that's entirely true. But anyway, now we have to do a better job of putting.
He didn't say that, folks. That was Bennett's aside.
That was me adding that in. I don't know how shocked. I think people are like impressed by it, but I don't know if there's like a floored national thing where it's like, these guys, they're doing.
It's not like last year. I think last year they were shocked. I think this year they're like, okay, good for them.
Like, oh, they're good. Okay. Anyway, now he says, this is Cignetti. Now we have to do a better job of putting people away. We should have put this team away, and the reason we didn't was our own doing. We should have put Utah State away. I know what our talent level on this team is. I know who our people are. I know what our potential capabilities are. And there's still some positions where we're still sort of improving. Let's just put it that way. And then he had a couple other things. And then at the end, he was like, do I wish we put more teams away quicker? Yeah. But do I like the question? No.
So it was a great question. Amazing question by Jackson to get that type of answer. And for Cignetti to also answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's also, it's newsworthy though. It is a bad thing that they are getting up big on teams. And against Utah State, they were outscored 31-7 at one point. Then they were only able to score 1 offensive touchdown after the Zach Horton play action bootleg in the 4th quarter. They were helped immensely from a Jalen Green deflected pass, pick 6. At the end of the day, that score counts. But that is this game where they won, thanks in large part to a defensive touchdown, and that's the UVA game. They won because of a blocked special teams touchdown. So those are things that like you can't count on week in and week out, and they are getting 2 out of the last 4 weeks.
Mhm.
So at a 50% clip to win these games. So it is concerning that your offense does enough early, but then you just can't keep the pedal to the metal as it goes on. And it is extremely, extremely concerning. I'm glad Cignetti said that. I'm glad Jackson asked that question. That's a newsworthy quote. I'm a little upset you didn't bring up this quote. There was a lot of talk about it, but the quote was, "The plays are there, but we aren't executing."
Yeah.
That's a very concerning quote to me because the logic doesn't follow.
How so?
The plays are there, but we aren't executing. I don't think the plays are there.
I think he in the passing game when he has Horton in the flat and doesn't throw it, I think that's what they're frustrated with.
Okay.
Where he thinks the plays that they're calling, pass plays in the third quarter are open and he misses them. McLeod.
Okay.
I think he's shifting responsibility kind of a lot to be like, well, Jordan isn't executing. And some of it I think is fair. But some of it, I think the play calling right is a little bit predictable. I also kind of push back a little on his quote where he says, the object is just to win the game. Like a 1-point win is the same as a 30-point win. I don't think that's true at all. Like it is to a certain
well, in college football, it's not.
Right, because like the teams you're playing are very different. And in the whole postseason process, the way you're perceived nationally is based a lot on now you get like all these different analytical metrics. So the more you win by, the better your metrics look, right? And then you're also looking like when they go to the 12-team playoff, the group of 5 gets a bid. Like the way it'll probably go is like one group of 5 team will be included in the 12-team playoff. Whereas the Power 5 teams, if you win the Pac-12, well, the Pac-12 is dead. If you win like the Big Ten, right, you're in. If you're in the Sun Belt, you're not necessarily in. Like you still have to be ranked higher than the other 4 Group of 5 conference champions. So you have to go out and like have some style points. He's like, style points don't matter. Well, they will, and they're the reason JMU's not actually in the top 25. They're receiving votes. So when it comes to like national perception, which can help a lot with recruiting and all these other things, I do kind of think margin matters at least a little bit. Obviously, you'd rather win than lose, but the margin factors into how you get viewed. Yeah.
Can you extrapolate on 25 as my max?
Yeah. Another important quote here. JMU ran a little, they stick a camera up and they put like a question on the camera.
Yeah.
And then the players answer and it becomes a social media video.
Yes.
They asked how many chicken nuggets guys could eat in one sitting.
McLeod's only 25.
McLeod, even for Chick-fil-A nuggets, he said 25 would be his max. Is that concerning to you?
Well,
yeah. Teo could put down 40 pretty easily.
I mean, not if you're looking for this, but there is a live stream video of me eating as many nuggets as I can in an hour.
Sure.
I tried to eat 100. This is all college for you. I got to like 73.
That's a lot.
In one sitting. If you go actually, if I'm looking back and I could change one thing, it would be to add a dipping sauce. I went dry nuggets, dry McDonald's nuggets. I was thinking, well, my goal was to get to 100. So I was thinking any sauce would take up precious space. But then at a certain point, you just get tired of chewing. So I know my max is like 75. So the fact that my starting quarterback of my college, my alma mater, can only get to 25, that's really, really scary. I'm just saying, my max is 75. I'm also a 6'2", 250 dude. Jordan McLeod is much smaller than me, so I probably have a lot more stomach space than he does. But I got to see him get to 35, 40 if he needs to be my quarterback that I believe in moving forward.
I agree.
Jordan McLeod, I challenge you. I'm looking into the camera. Jordan McLeod, I challenge you to a nugget eating contest. I'll win. I don't even know why I'm challenging. That's an easy dub.
It would be nice if Cignetti slipped that into a future press conference where he's like, what's he not doing outside of football? It's like, well, he barely eats any chicken nuggets. Get your weight up.
Put me into the press box at post game after like after a blowout win against I don't know, Georgia Southern. You put me up there, I'd be like, Coach, can we talk about Jordan McLeod's chicken nugget habits?